I'm sure on Discover Weekly, like there are people who listen to it on shuffle and they'll listen to the whole thing. There are people who might like your album cover here and there. But on a general level, James is right. People listen to what they know. If I like Drake or Elton John, whoever I like, and I see a new song from him on my release radar, which one do you think I'm going to click? Oh, I've never heard of this guy. Let's try this one first. No, people are drawn to what they already know, what seems familiar. If somebody is opening up their Discover Weekly and maybe they've seen your ad a handful of times and they've never clicked on it, they couldn't pick you out of a crowd, but for some reason when your song ends up on their Discover Weekly, they might recognize you. They might not know why, but instead of you being completely unknown, you might have went from having a 0% chance to a 50-50 chance that they have intent behind picking you, not randomly. It's really hard to count that conversion. It's also really hard to run an ad and get anyone to say, oh, great idea. Let me now, instead of like hitting the link, say like if you're running an ad on Facebook and the link is to Spotify, but somebody has Apple Music. Do you know how hard it is to get someone to say, oh, great ad. Let me by myself close this, open a second app, remember your name and how to spell it, put it in Apple Music and select the song that I want. Good luck. The only time people take it upon themselves to look you up, to look up your music video, to find your account on Instagram, to look you up on Twitter, to look up your album, when the only time someone will take it upon themselves to do it and search for you is when they already care. Either they care to learn more about you because somebody told them something about you. You're in a trending local topic on Twitter and people say, who's this person? They would look you up. The ad perhaps can convince them to look you up. But the first step in all of this is creating awareness. We talk about this all the time. Think of your music business as like a new clothing store. If you have a store and it's around the corner from some busy street and no one knows that it's a new street and no one knows it's there, having a new shirt is not going to solve the problem. Oh, you don't know where my location is? I've got new sweatpants this time. Okay, next week I've got new shoes. Oh, you still don't know where to come buy them even if you wanted to. Oops. The answer to your problems is not releasing new music and hoping that the right people find you. There are no right people. There are no people who care about you. You do not have many or any fans. You need to create them.
We always hear, I have to find my fans, right? I just got to find my fan base. I just have to target correctly. Yeah, there is targeting involved when you have the ideal demographics of your fan base. But you won't know what your fan base is until you get people to give you a chance and actually listen to your music. They're not going to just appear. They may listen, not like your music too. Just because you're running ads doesn't mean they finally click and will like the music. Growing a fan base is one by one. It takes time. Over time, it does grow exponentially because of word of mouth and everything else. But it's not going to go from 0 to 100 from today or tomorrow. It's going to be one fan probably, maybe two. Maybe you'll get to a third. Maybe they'll tell someone, they'll give you a chance. They won't like it. Because if you think about it, it's not just because they listen to you doesn't mean they're going to like it, even if it's perfect. There's people out there that don't like the Beatles. There's people that don't like the Rolling Stones, Drake, Eminem, you name it. There's someone out there that doesn't like them. So even if they fit your demographic doesn't mean they're going to guarantee to like it. So it's not finding people. It's getting people to give you a chance, and it's consistent exposure to those people who have given you a chance. All of us, I'm sure, can think back to a song that was on the radio that we did not like at all when it first came out. That became a song that we liked because consistent exposure to something and familiarity is what makes a fan. And that's what radio is successful. Even if you don't like it, you were stuck listening to the radio growing up. And you sat there listening to it. Yeah, you can skip a station, but almost always it would be on that station too. So if you can get in front of people, even if you've hit them with an ad and they gave you a chance and they only listened once, hit them with another ad, give them another song, get in front of them again, consistently get in front of these people. Because yeah, cool, you've got 7 listeners on Discover Weekly and they listen 14 times. Cool, that's great. Now, what are you going to do? If they're not aware that you have other music, if they're not aware that you're an actual business, you don't just have this one song, I don't know what you're going to do. You're just going to hope that they keep listening to that song forever. You have to show them that other people care about you too, because sadly, that's what humans care about. They want to be accepted. They want to be in with everyone else. They want to be doing the same thing as everyone else. And they want to feel like they're involved. They're not on the edge. Very few people want to be, until you make it big, very few people want to admit that they're the first ones that found you. Once you make it big, everyone's going to say they found you early. It's just normal. That's why Spotify does this yearly wrap up. Last year, I think they told me I listened to Big Sean before everyone else. I didn't know that. Back when I was listening to Big Sean to begin with, it wasn't like I was going around bragging to people, because no one cared. I'm sure if no one knew about him, it doesn't matter to people.